Everybody, alrighty, so today I'm going to do a video on locksmiths and key shops. Sorry, I did not get this video out yesterday. Andrew is out camping, and I had Cody Sanchez training videos like all day, and just by the time it was done, all of the household things were on me, and so here we are, it's Saturday. But I'll work on making sure I have one already prepared for the next time that my Friday doesn't go as planned. But okay, so today I want to do a deep dive on locksmiths and key shops. Oh, and you might ask about my hair. I chopped it. I cut 10 inches off, 9 of which is 8 plus some was what was needed to donate my hair. And so I just went ahead and chopped it off and then had them kind of straighten it up. So got some pigtails going on today. All right, back to our actual thing we're supposed to be doing. Locksmiths and key shops. What is a locksmith company, and is it a simple business model? Well, I always make sure that everybody knows what type of business we're talking about. And this is a skilled tradesman who duplicates keys, repairs locks, and solves lockout problems. And all of these are simple as long as you have the right skills and tools needed to complete the job. And I do want to say, I'm sure there's some sort of barrier to entry that we'll get to. They're not just giving everybody the keys to the universe to unlock any key, I'm sure. But some of the examples here, you have Papa Lock, Locksmith Pros, and then of course the big box stores who you may know make key duplicates, but they won't come and help you out get back into your locked vehicle. Home Depot and Lowe's. All right, so it really surprised me to know how old this industry is. It is definitely the oldest that I've looked at so far, dating back to 4000 BC. That's what, 6,000 years, if I'm doing the math correct? All right, and so 4000 BC, no, there was not locksmiths like we see today, obviously, but apparently they used wooden pin tumblers that were opened by wooden keys. And so I'm sure that they had to figure out a way when they got locked out somehow. But locksmiths really became a trade 4,500 years later, 580. That's still significantly back in history from where we are today. And then more recent stuff that's happened. Well, I guess not. 1700s and 1800s, there was lots of different innovations, unpickable locks that would kind of freeze up if someone tried to tamper with them, all sorts of different things. And then it was pretty stale for a long time. And now where we are today is, as you may know, there's lots of technology, keyless entries, and, I don't know about you, but my front door is operated by a code, not a key. And so, those keyless entries are such a big deal right now. Either way you go, though, locksmiths are still needed. I don't know about you. I say that a lot. I've got to get that out of my vocab. But when you get locked out of a vehicle or a house, you don't really care how much it's going to cost to hire a locksmith. You just need the job done. So they're still needed, even in a tech-heavy AI smart world. All right, so here's the barrier to entry piece. A special locksmith training is required to get licensed, and it can take months, if not years, to complete. So that can make it really challenging to buy one of these businesses. You also have to have a clean background check, which no problem here, but some people may struggle with that. I don't know. No judgment. And then the entry, you just have to have the equipment. And I'm sure you have to, have the license and the background check to gain access to that equipment just for the safety of, everybody everywhere. All right. Are there contractual elements? Yeah, sure. You can set up long-term contracts with property managers or apartments, probably even colleges with dorms, or roadside assistance companies. But most of your clients are a one and done kind of deal, right? And so you can add some of those elements, but I would think a lot of the revenue is going to come from one-time use situations. Which means on the marketing side, that's not where we are yet, but I do want to say, which means on the marketing side, you want to be top of mind in this industry. You want to be the only name they think of when they get locked out of their car. And so if I had bought one of these industries, that's what I would be spending most of my time on. But I'll get more to that when we get to marketing. All right, so trends and other notes. Smart technology is upgrading. Today's lock and key setups are upgrading with technology. AI is a big deal right now. This phenomenon is leading locksmiths into doing more security tasks. Some offer security consults to make sure your home is safe. A lot of people really want this to make sure that their kids and their loved ones and their precious items are secure. And many locksmiths are doing contactless booking with links and apps. And I feel like that's, every industry right now. All right, so here's our SWOT analysis. So the strengths of this industry, it's essential. It's a essential service. Relatively low overhead. You don't have to have a brick and mortar. You probably need a vehicle or two on your team to be able to get to those cars, and it's very scalable. All right, some weaknesses. It can be negatively impacted by interest rates because a lot of times when people buy new houses, they will do a rekey service, right? And so if the interest rates are high, real estate's not going to sell as much, and then there won't be as many rekeys needed. So while it's an essential service, some parts of this business, depending on how you have it set up, can still be negatively impacted. The licensing and regulations can be a weakness. You've got to have that license, and it could take years, it says, to obtain. So I haven't done a whole lot of specific research, but when I mentioned a locksmith company to my husband, because I know of one who is looking at selling, he mentioned that it actually takes a long time to get this license. So I don't know if it's something he's looked at in the past. And then the piece that really makes it a no-go for me is a 24/7 availability is expected. I grew up with a dad who had a business like that, and I know that he missed a lot that he probably would have wished he didn't have to miss, that I don't really be part of. So 24/7 availability is a major weakness for me, and ultimately why I don't think I will ever buy a locksmith company. Furthermore, let's keep looking. Some of the opportunities in the space, electronic locks, lead to a new market. Partnerships and contracts, the roadside assistance or apartments or, whatever those contracts might look like. And then moving into security, not just locks, can open you up into a whole new world with a huge new market and to be able to make its clients. All right, threats, increased regulations. I'm sure with all the keyless entry and all this stuff that's coming up, you're going to have more regulations to deal with. Competition from big box stores, Lowe's and Home Depot. They make new keys, but they don't do the like the lockouts and things. Technological changes can be a threat as well. No one really knows how keyless entry may affect the industry. All right, some questions to know before you buy one. Obviously, the financials and expenses. What is included in the sale? Condition of fixtures, furniture, and equipment. Inventory. Is there a brick and mortar or is it fully mobile? How long have they been open? How strong is the brand? Because you want to be the top name in the area, that branding is going to be so critical. Is there anything proprietary? Revenue and marketing mix. Where's your money coming from, and how are you getting those people interested in your services? Any long-term contracts, and when do they expire? Maybe the answer is yes, we have long-term contracts, but they expire next year. Or it could be, yeah, we have long-term contracts, and they expire in 5 to 10 years. I'm pretty sure I want 5 to 10 years. All right, so is there staff? Is the staff licensed, certified? How long does it take to get licensed and certified and bonded and insured and all of those legalities that you need for this business, not only for you as a new owner, but any staff that may need these things or may be added to your team as you grow. Some notes on valuation and financing. There's not a whole lot of information or a ton of people who do locksmith services. Valuations would be based on revenue, customer base, location, and branding, but I could not find any data on specifics on financing. You can owner finance or do SBA, HELOC, conventional loan, or other options. All right, so clients. Clients are anyone who owns a house or a car that they want to keep secure. However, a locksmith can focus specifically on property managers, realtors, other professionals that would connect with homeowners, car owners, or renters. And so all that really comes down to the marketing and the business strategy that the owner decides to take. Can your ideal client afford the cost? The average cost of a locksmith coming and fixing a lockout is somewhere between $100 and $200. And affordability is relative, but most of the time, yes. So, and I'm going to tell you a story on this one. So when me and my husband were first together, we were maybe married a year, 2 years, because Lucas was already born. So about 2 years. And my husband and me and the family went to Six Flags. And my husband lost the keys to the house at Six Flags. But we didn't realize it until we got to our house at midnight. So we were locked out of our house. And the easy solution would have been to go to my grandmother's house 2 minutes down the road. But my husband was stubborn and said, no, I'm sleeping in my own bed. And he kind of broke the lock and the lock mechanism and part of the door frame trying to get into the house. Now, the repairs of the damage were definitely more than $200. And we could have afforded the $200. We just didn't want to. So, is it affordable? Yeah, it's better than fixing the repairs. One of the other things that I did before, not realizing that I should call a locksmith because I was very young, I locked my keys out of my car, and after fighting with it for 2 hours, nobody mentioned calling a locksmith. We broke the back window of the car. I don't know if you have ever... I gotta stop saying that. Well, if you didn't know, the cost of fixing a window is very, very pricey. And it would have been a whole lot cheaper to pay for a locksmith than to pay for a new window. Now, that's not the route that went. My grandfather put a piece of plexiglass in the window for me and everything was fine. However, the moral of the story is it's easier to pay for the locksmith than pay for the damages that not having a locksmith will cost. All right, strong client retention. Not directly. It's really, unless you have some of those long-term contracts we talked about, client retention is non-existent. I mean, it can be created, but most clients really are that one-time use. All right, is it easy to target? Yeah, it can be if you target realtors, property managers, but overall, no, it's not one of those businesses that, retain clients really well or have recurring revenue or any of that. So the cost of client acquisition is a big deal and it could really eat into your margins. Are they in pain? Generally, yes, they are in pain. They are stuck out of their car or their house and tend to be stranded. So there's definitely a pain to be solved, which leads to decent demand. All right. So does it meet a financial need? No. Does it hit a relationship need? No. Does it hit a health need? So follow me here. Technically, no, but I thought it was really interesting to add, not directly, however, being locked out could cause emotional stress, and security is a major need. So both of those fall under a health need. So, maybe. And then does this solve a need or relieve pain? Yes, security is a major need. Both on Maslow's hierarchy of need, security is, I think, the first or second piece. I think it's the first level on Maslow's hierarchy of need. And then if you ever follow Jimmy Evans, who's a preacher on marriage, he will tell you security is the number one need of a woman. And so security is a major need. Man, woman, human, alien, whoever it is. Security is a big deal, right? So a couple of things on the marketing. So me and my husband actually talked about this in length because I was looking at the idea of potentially buying a locksmith company in the last 60 days. And we talked about what the marketing hurdles would be. And the biggest thing is going to be client acquisition cost will be high. You would need to make sure you pay for Google ads to be on the top of that Google search because most people will not know a locksmith. They're going to go to Google and they're going to find the closest one that's available. So keeping a really, really strong record on Google will be crucial. Keeping a strong social media presence also that allows you to create top of mind without it having to be sourced from Google, right? And so a lot of people are doing personal referrals on Facebook and all those things. So keeping both Facebook and Google top notch will be very, very critical for this type of business. They can market to realtors or property managers. That's a relatively easy task to accomplish. And then, as I said, social media is crucial. Start building relationships. Probably like a BNI type group would be helpful for this industry. And then magnets for people to put on their car. You would have to find something cute or some way to incentivize them to have the magnet on the car. And then people will be kind of your moving billboards for you. All right. So is this a dying industry? It's been around for a long time, but tech doesn't make it clear on how this industry will thrive in the future or how it will change in the future. Sell. Is it possible to sell, resell, or franchise? Yes. Resell or franchise, yes. But it will likely be easier to resell than to franchise just due to the licensing and the security aspect of being a locksmith. Thinking about selling? Well, you may want to hire a bookkeeper to straighten out your books, streamline ops to make it easy to run and easy to understand for the newcomer, and just make sure that everything's tip top shape. If you can make sure your equipment's in good shape, make some SOPs on any of the nuances that you may, deal with in this company. It would be helpful for the new owner. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye.
Now just one more.